Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Helzie here from slimandstylish.stampingup.net. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be using the Cottage Rose Cling Stamp set from the new annual catalogue to create this no line blended card. I think this is a really cute card, but what I've done today is I filmed ahead of time and I'm going to be doing a voiceover so that I could speed up what I'm doing. Normally on my channel when I do blending, I do quick or messy blending just to make it easier for you to watch. But today I really wanted to get a full proper blend effect. So I've just sped the video up so it's still sort of 10 minutes long and not the half hour it took. What I've done is I've inked up my stamp with Sahara sand and I've inked it off first of all so that when I stamp it onto the card, it's a lighter colour. This is just scrap basic white. And I'm using the light and dark soft succulent here and the dark early evergreen. So to start off with, I'm using a soft succulent and I'm going to go over the entirety of the leaves. I'm just using the bullet tip around the edges so that I don't go out of the lines. And then I'm going to cover the whole leaf with the soft succulent light. I do this to start off with because I do think it's easier when you put the dark colours on if you've got a light base underneath, especially on the no line watercolouring where you're trying to cover all the lines. I'm then going to use the dark evening evergreen and I'm going to go up and down the spine of the leaf, and I'm doing this sharply so it actually looks like it's the veins of the leaf. Once I've done this, I'm going to use the dark soft succulent and I'm going to go over the entirety of the spine and the evening evergreen, blending it outwards so that it creates more of a smudged effect in the centre of the leaves. I really do enjoy doing no line watercolouring, and normally it's sort of an afternoon pastime for me, but I don't normally have many videos on it, so I do hope you enjoy this one and find it useful. This is the light and dark soft sea foam. I'm going over with the dark soft sea foam first towards the edge and the middle of the leaf. So I'm going to the left side edge and the middle of the leaf. And then I'm going over the entirety of the leaf in little circles, blending everything in using the light soft sea foam. And hopefully you can see that it all starts blending into one piece now. And with the amount of colours on, you can't see the soft Sahara underneath at all, so it doesn't look like there's a stamped image. I'm then just going to come in with a light soft succulent and I'm going to go over the stems of the leaf so it actually draws it into the flower and the soft Sahara sand disappears completely. Now that the leaves are done, I'm going to do the baby's breath in the background and the centre of the flower, and I'm just using light Sahara sand for this. I'm not going to be doing any blending with it, I'm just going to be colouring in the baby's breath and the centre of the flower. For the centrepiece, I'm going to do it in little dots so that it just creates some texture, because I'm going to go over this later when I do the flower. And then underneath the centrepiece, I've just coloured that in blocks so it actually stands out. For the flower, I'm using light and dark Cajun Craze and light and dark Calypso Coral. Cajun Craze is at the top and Calypso Coral at the bottom, and I've done it dark, light, so hopefully you'll be able to see which colours I'm using. I'm going in with a light Calypso Coral first because, as I said, I like putting a light base underneath a dark colour. And you'll notice I'm not going to the edge of all these petals. I'm actually going to cover in the shaded parts, and I'm also going round the edges slightly, but I'm only going to about halfway up on each petal because I'm going to come in with a much lighter colour later. Once I've done that, I'm going to skip ahead to the dark colour, so that's the dark Cajun Craze. And you'll notice I'm just going around the edge of the petals. Then I'm going to come in with the dark Calypso Coral and I'm going to meet the edges and actually finish around the petals. And then I'm going to use the light Cajun Craze to go over the shaded parts again, but to create more definition. I'm not going to be going over the whole part that I went over the Calypso Coral, just bits for definition. Hopefully you can see that the flower's starting to come together, but what I will say is when you start blending and you're going to be taking some time to actually build the colours up, it will look messy to start off with. That's fine. The messier it looks, the more colours and texture you're going to have on there, and it will start coming together. This is light and dark pale papaya, and I'm just using the dark pale papaya at the moment to spread the colour. And then this is dark pumpkin pie, and I'm going to be going around the edges of the petals so that I just close off all of the flower now. Once I've finished going around the petals, I'm going to use the light pale papaya and I'm going to go over the entirety of the flower. I'm going to start in the dark sections and work my way outwards, and I'm doing this in little circles so that it just blends the colours in nicely and it pushes the dark colour out into the light and it creates the flower being all the same tone. To keep with the same tone, I'm also going to go over the centre of the flower so that it just adds that tone underneath. I did miss a couple of the petals with the pumpkin pie, so I've just redone that. And then this is the light Calypso coral that I very first started off with, and I'm going to go over all of the bits I went over before. So wherever there was pale Calypso coral before, I've put it back. And then I'm just tidying up the centerpiece with the Sahara sand, and I'm going around with the colour lifter. The colour lifter is great for adding dimension if you just use it on the bits that you want it to be lighter, and it just draws some of the colour out. Finally, this is the powder pink, and I'm using this because I wasn't happy with a couple of the edges of my flowers. They were just a bit too dark and I just wanted to blend them back in. So I just used that to blend in. Going around the edge of the entire image now is going to make it a lot easier to fussy cut because it's going to take away the stark white and it's just going to leave a nice pale pink line around it. With that done, fussy cutting. It's really easy to fussy cut and I find it to be really therapeutic, but what you need to do is you need to use the bottom edge of the blade. I am whizzing through this because I was conscious that I was being recorded, and you can take some more time to get some softer cuts around the leaves. But yes, just fussy cut it all out and you're ready for the rest of the card. So once that's done, you're going to want your card base, so fold it and burnish it. And then you want a piece of cardstock that is 10 centimetres by 14.3 centimetres, so it has a slight frame around it on the card base. Using the flower stamp in there, the slightly smaller one, I'm using the Sahara sand, and I'm just going to stamp this 4 times around the right side edge. It doesn't matter that it's going to overlap in the middle because I'm going to put the ribbon across it and no one will notice it. But I just wanted to get some background detail on the card. And I'm going to use the powder pink and I'm going to use my blending brush and I'm just going to add some colour onto there. Not much. I'm keeping it quite pale. I don't want anything to distract from the lovely image that we've just coloured in. But this is just to give some background texture. You're then going to want the sentiment, so just grab some scrap cardstock and your memento, and I'm just going to stamp the sentiment onto here, and I'm going to punch it out using the fancy label punch. This is one of my favourite punches. Once I've done that, I'm going to bring in all the pieces of the card, and then I'm going to bring in the wide ribbon. I love this. It's really textured and looks great on cards. So I'm just going to stick it across the middle using my seal. Turn it over, and once I've done that, I'm actually just going to apply the seal all over the back of the card and put it onto the card base. So you can see there that the blending in the background with the blending brushes wasn't much, it was just to give it some colour. Add some dimensionals and pull the whole piece together, and this is your finished card. Everything I've used today is available from slimandstylish.stampingup.net. Oh, I forgot, I did actually use the brushed metallic dots on this, so I used 3 of the copper ones. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's been useful doing a full blended card. These are all my details. Please do like, comment and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.